Hi everybody, welcome to a yoga sequence, a class that is going to be inspired by the water element. And so for our sequence today, we're going to be really noticing the flow of the movement, especially as we transition in and out, and especially when we do the more dynamic poses and stretches in yoga. And the quote here that I want to share with you, just water element inspired, is by Jon Kabat-Zinn. And he says, "You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf." So, with that said, we'll go ahead and start on the back. You can have your legs be long, or you can have your knees bent, feet on the mat, whatever is more comfortable for you. And take a moment here to begin to allow yourself to arrive. Noticing the points of contact where your body is touching the mat beneath you, and noticing your breath, following along with your natural inhale and exhale. And as we're in a reclined position, you may notice the rising and falling sensation in the belly. You can even imagine that as waves as you'd like. You can place a hand on the belly and a hand on the chest. And inhale, notice your belly rises. Exhale, your belly falls. You can imagine your body and your torso and the way your breath works, like the ocean and the moving waves. And take another round of breath here. And go ahead and come onto the side. And we're going to do a little bit of a shoulder opener stretch. And so if your head feels uncomfortable just hanging out, you can take a pillow, bolster, or block underneath the head. So my hips are stacked, and my knees are pointing in the same direction, and my fingertips are also pointing in the same direction. Inhale, I'm going to lift my top arm up. Exhale, I'm going to reach it back. And the hand's not necessarily going to touch behind you, but that's okay. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, close. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, length. Exhale, open. Inhale, length. Exhale, close. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then we'll go ahead and do this on the other side. So I'm going to move myself, but you could just roll over if you'd like. Same thing here. I'm on my side. Hips are stacked, knees pointing in the same direction. Hands are also pointing in the same direction, as well as fingertips. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, open. Inhale, length. Exhale, close. 2 more times, just like that. Great. So we'll go ahead and just lie down without any props. I'm just moving this to the side. We're going to come into a butterfly, reclined butterfly. And you're going to have the soles of the feet together. And if you need to bring your feet further away, you can. It's just this kind of makes it less of an intense sensation in the hips. If you really like sensation in the hips, you can bring your feet closer to your torso. So on an inhale, you're going to bring your knees towards each other. They don't necessarily have to touch. And then exhale, you're going to release. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, releasing. Inhale, you're really trying to use your inner thighs to come towards each other. And then 2 more times. Okay, then you can hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe gently rock side to side if that feels nice. And you can roll to one side and press yourself up. We're going to come into a tabletop. So, fingers are spread nice and wide, wrists beneath shoulders and knees beneath hips. And you want to make sure that your weight isn't too much on your wrist, so you can think about gently pressing into the pads of your fingertips and your knuckles for that. If your wrists are bothered by being on all fours, you can always take fists as well. So we're going to go through rounds of cat and cow. Inhale, drop belly, lift gaze. Exhale, round back, drop head. Moving with the breath here. Letting yourself be very fluid in this motion, or as fluid as you can possibly be. And then coming back into your table here, so the spine is neutral. We're going to do child's pose, a moving child's pose for a few rounds here. So you can exhale back into your child's. And you're not going to necessarily go all the way on your inhale and come back up to table. Just really moving very little of your body actually. But seeing if you can notice what it's like and which parts of the body you actually are moving, which muscles and joints you are feeling as you're going back and forth here, just rocking back and forth. Do one more. Okay, and then from here, we're going to tuck the toes, make sure the fingers are spread nice and wide, especially right now, because we're going to come into downward facing dog. Another thing you can do is you can have your hand placement so that your middle, ring, and pinky fingers are slightly off the mat, and your thumb and pointer finger are still on the mat. Sometimes that can feel better in the shoulders for some people. Otherwise, you can just have your hands be just wide fingers or wide and have your hands all the way on the mat. Please do not have your hands as fists when you're doing downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, engage the core, bring the knees up and back. Find a nice long spine here first, and then you can pedal out the feet, bending one knee, straightening the other, walking out the dog perhaps. Another thing you can do that can feel nice is shimmying the hips side to side, so the heels may also come side to side. And then as you're ready, we kind of come into stillness here. And we're going to combine some of the movements we've been doing. So from your downward facing dog, we're going to inhale into a table, exhale into your child. And then you're going to go ahead and do this, just that sequence, a few more times. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, table, exhale, child. Let's just do that one more time. Inhale, tuck the toes, exhale. Inhale, drop knees, exhale, child. This time when we are in our child, we'll go ahead and stay here. Noticing your breath. If you want to do a variation that's a little bit different, that might feel nice for the shoulders, you can reach your hands back towards your feet with the palms up. Shoulders might drop in and that can feel nice. Okay, we'll go ahead and come up. We're going to come into a low lunge. So you're going to bring your right foot up in front. You can tuck your back toes to help you from being too wobbly if you need that. Otherwise, you can just leave the foot untucked. And we're going to first move here. So we're going to inhale and think about coming forward. So you're stretching out through your hip flexor. And then exhale, we're going to think about straightening the front leg. So inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. 2 more times. Next time you're in a low lunge, we'll go ahead and hold it there for a moment. Really feeling into your hip flexor. You also want to make sure that your knee is just above your ankle. If your knee goes beyond your ankle, you might want to take a bigger step forward. Go ahead and shift back. Going to lift the heels if you really want to feel the stretch. You can keep your heel down and just have your legs straight if that's too much. You should feel big stretch in the back of the leg here. And then we're going to go ahead and come forward, and then we'll switch sides. Now this is my left foot in front. I'm doing the same thing here. I'm just going back and forth. I'm going to inhale forward and stretch out this hip flexor, and then exhale back, stretch out the back of my leg. Let's do that 3 more times. This time I'm going to come forward and come into that low lunge. And I'm going to come back. When you come back, you want to think about drawing the sit bone of the leg that's straight towards the wall behind you. And come forward. And then go ahead and come into a seat. And I'm going to come into a half butterfly. So I'm going to have my left leg long and my right knee in. I'm going to keep my spine nice and tall. And I'm just going to go ahead and fold over. If you need to have a little bit of a bend in the knee, you can. That's okay. And go ahead and find my way back up. And take my other leg out. And then the foot that was out comes in. Spine nice and tall. And then walking yourself forward. And go ahead and come back upright. Okay, this time I'm going to take both my legs long. I'm going to come into a twist. I'm going to bring my right knee in, and then I'm going to bring my right knee over my left leg. I'm going to twist towards the right. So I'm twisting towards the side that the knee is bent. Hand here is just to help me support the spine so it stays long as I twist in the mid and upper back. If this bothers your low back, go ahead and come out and try it again. And go ahead and come back to center. Other leg comes in and over. I'm twisting in the opposite direction. Go ahead and come back to center. I'm going to bring both legs long. This time I'm going to do something that might feel a little bit strange at first, but that's okay. I'm just going to point my toes and then release them. So I'm not necessarily flexing in my ankles when I release. Just a little bit of pointing and flexing. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to move a little bit. I'm going to shift a little bit. And this is a very fluid-like movement. But it can feel stiff at first, but that's okay. Just moving more into the legs here. You can also actually do this lying down and feel more of your body. And it really reminds me of the waves going in and out when you're at the beach. In and out, going in and out the shores. Okay, go ahead and pause with that. And I'm coming to a forward fold. I'm going to make sure my ankles are flexed this time. You can have a slight bend in the knees if you like. I think tonight I'm going to do a slight bend in my knees. I'm going to reach the arms up overhead. We're going to exhale, begin to fold. Inhale, reach the arms back up overhead. So exhale, and then you're going to just reach back. Let's do one more. Now this time I'm going to come down and hold it there. So you can have your hands on your feet or your hands somewhere on your shins or on your mat. You can fold your head if you like, or you can just keep your heart lifted if that feels better. Go ahead and find my way back upright. And I'm going to come into boat pose. So, with boat pose, you just want to make sure that you're seated nice and tall. You can bring your feet out. Arms can come by your side, or hands can just rest on your thighs. If you want more, you can really straighten out the legs. Tonight, I'm just going to be here with my knees bent and my feet out. Strong core here. And bring my feet onto the mat. Let myself come down onto my back now. So you can have your arms out in front and just come down one vertebrae at a time. And have your legs be long. Just take a moment here to feel into your back and feel what it's like to be on the mat again. I'm going to bend my knees. I'm bringing my right ankle over my left thigh. You can stay here. You can lift up. This is a figure 4 stretch or a reclined pigeon. And you can release other leg, ankle over thigh, stay here, or lift up. And then you can release and take a moment to see if there's anything else you would like to do before coming into your Shavasana. Or if you would like, you can continue practicing anything else that might feel good. This was just a very brief practice. If you are opting in for a Shavasana, I suggest that you make sure you do at least 5 minutes of your Shavasana. If you would like to just kind of use this as sort of a warm-up to go and do other movement activities, that's also good. I hope you enjoyed it. This is, again, a sequence that was inspired by the water element, and I hope you have a nice rest of your day, and I'll be back with some more videos on some other elements. Bye for now.